What's up, guys? This video is for Etsy sellers that want to improve the visibility of their listings on Etsy. We're going to be using InsightFactory and leveraging their beginner-friendly keywords functionality. I just did a test. I'm going to show you what I did in a second, but it increases the likelihood of my listing being found by 94%. And I just did the math straight off of Etsy. I'll show you exactly what I did by using the beginner-friendly keyword method to hone in on a specific sub-niche of an upcoming trend. You're not going to want to miss this, so let's get to it. So here in InsightFactory, I went over to Etsy Trends on the sidebar, and I enabled beginner-friendly. It's a little switch right here. This is for premium only, and it shows keywords with competition lower than 2,500 and with a good sales signal. Now, this took me from looking at the broad search terms of Mother's Day and honed in specifically on our first Mother's Day. How about that? So instead of going for the super generic, super high level Mother's Day as our broad keyword selection, or in this case, niche selection, assuming you don't have a design made yet, we're going to make a design for our first Mother's Day. You can actually come over here to the Etsy Trends section, and even if you don't necessarily know that you want to target Mother's Day, it will just put upcoming trends right here for you, almost like a real-time niche calendar. And let's go to Teacher Appreciation Day, for instance. We know the school year is wrapping up. Don't overlook this, guys. The school year's wrapping up. I think colleges typically get out first, then high schools, and then maybe the elementary schools, middle schools. So within Teacher Appreciation Day, we do have a bunch of good niches, right? There's nothing wrong with the niches that you see here. And hey, if you're ambitious, go ahead and explore all of these niches. But right here, if you're a premium user, you can enable beginner friendly. And again, it's putting all the results now through a much tighter criteria of filters to try to let the best opportunities rise to the top. So right here, dear parents, tag your it, love teachers. That's hilarious. So what we can do here is come on over here directly to Etsy and say teacher appreciation, right? And we're looking at, 296,000 products, but how about this specific sub niche? Dear parents, tag your it. Dear parents, tag your it. Now we're looking at about 1,200 results, and again, it's putting it through even stricter criteria than just looking at the, competition numbers. But as you can see here, it does bring the number of competition down under 2,500 as promised. If you have a good design, a good mock-up, and you're not scared of enabling ads, by the way, ads aren't required to succeed on Etsy, but if we're being realistic here, it's a game of visibility. If no one ever sees your shirt, you're never going to make a sale. So do anything you can to increase the likelihood of people finding your shirt. Now notice I keep saying shirt. We didn't even add shirt to the keywords there. If we do that, okay, it looks like it only brought down the results by maybe 20. So maybe it's a good opportunity to sell like a tumbler or a coffee mug or something else. It seems like a lot of people are doing t-shirts here. But what I typically do too, if I'm looking to make a dent in a niche that is selling well, that is beginner friendly, I'll scroll through page 1, get a feel for like what color shirts are people, when I say people, other sellers selling their mock-ups on. Is there a color that maybe they're not, that hasn't made its way towards the top of page 1 that maybe I can mock up and when I say mock up, it's not just about the mock up. I'm going to optimize my design for that shirt color. You know what I mean? Because I want it to look good in the primary thumbnail, which is what the majority of people who are my potential customers are going to see, right? That's what they see first, unless they somehow go directly to my listing. So really, we've said this many times before, but Etsy, in order to be successful, you need that primary thumbnail to really stand out. And this brings me back to InsightFactory. You can scroll through here and get an idea of what some of these great opportunities look like, just on and how they're framed. So we could type in like teacher appreciation. Again, any little tweaks in keywords has the potential to change what results are yielded here. So you can kind of scroll through. I know this is a super popular this mock-up right here, this specific product mock-up. And you can click any of them and get additional details, advanced insights. So right here, teacher appreciation gifts popcorn. Okay, the word popcorn was scraped off that listing. Why don't we delete it and rerun the search? But from this view right here, we actually can get additional in-depth metrics like how many sales has this product made in the last 7 days. You'll notice, so we didn't put the product type in. So there are some things like whatever this is. I don't even know what product that is. We can check it out on Etsy really quickly. It looks like, okay, it looks like jewelry, but how about the coffee mugs, right? We're looking at mugs. We're going to see some tumblers. We're going to see some shirts, some tote bags. We can zoom out. You know what I mean? If you're, whoever you're using for production, you know what I mean? I would recommend Awkward Styles if you don't have a strong lean and you don't know who to look to. Check out Awkward Styles. My code in the description will get you 2 months of Pro for free, which will bring down your fulfillment costs. They can do mugs. They can do message card jewelry. They can do tote bags. They can do tumblers, etc. But check this out. You can actually see the last 7 days sales right there. If you click the column header, it'll put in order what products have generated the most sales. So guys, take a hint. And it's not just about the product type. How about taking a step back and looking at how the design is set up? I love this design. You know what I mean? You got beautiful rainbow colors, a nice tall, let's just say fun vibes font that spells out the word teacher. And they're offering customization where they will input your teacher's name right there in the middle, which of course is always a nice touch because then it's not, you know, another generic product from the internet, you know, from Etsy. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Let's be real. I mean, the majority of products I sell are those generic products that are not customized. But if you're especially like, if you're a new seller, a smaller shop, you're still hungry to get some reviews, you should offer personalization. By the way, you can turn it off later, although, you know, Etsy's algorithm is going to expect, you know what I mean? If you're generating a bunch of sales because people searched for personalized gifts for teacher, you're going to be, you know, their algorithm is going to have that expectation that you're offering personalization. So if you do go into your listing later and turn it off, that could lead to a reduced conversion rate, which could lead to reduced visibility in search results. So most likely you're going to want to keep it enabled, especially if you've been experiencing success with it. But check this out. I mean, just from a design perspective, you know, assuming we don't know what niche, okay, we found a niche. Now what design approach do we take? I like this as an approach. And the little spot in the middle there for the reserved for the customizable like teacher's name, we can still kind of take a hint that the customers are loving this design style. We don't have to offer personalization. We could still just find another way of, if it's a PE teacher, we could put PE teacher, somehow work physical education into the middle there. If it's math, you know, it's pretty wide. So maybe you say mathematics. If it's history, put history. You get what I'm saying? Like we can tailor this in a way that doesn't have to be personalized, just based on liking the design. Also, we should be able to click into this and see an even more in-depth view of the listing. So this was released on March 31st, 2023, and it is cleaning up. Man, it's making a lot of sales. So it says 408 sales in the last 7 days on 9,200 views, 351 new favorites in the last 7 days. This is just crazy, man. And you can see, by the way, this is probably the most valuable part right here that InsightFactory gives us. It gives us a bunch of keywords that this listing is ranking on, that customers are typing into the search bar on Etsy, that are giving us a lot of ideas of potential keywords and phrases that we can integrate into our listing should we enter this niche. I'm not talking about cloning we don't have to clone the product that we see here, but take a hint. If it's generating, you know, anywhere from 400, 380 to 400 sales in the last 7 days, there's nothing wrong with taking a hint about specific keywords and phrases to integrate into our listing. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's title, whether it's tags, whether it's description. And this is, again, also great ideas for potential niches like preschool teacher gift ideas. So we can click that. And again, it takes us right back into InsightFactory's advanced sort of view. Again, we get the same. It's going to go ahead and pick the data from Etsy. We can sort by 7-day sales. We can sort by last sale, which, you know, a lot of the best sellers are going to say today. We can sort by views, which will give us an idea of like what specific keywords are they ranking on that potentially we can target. Because obviously when we talk about like, it's a big pie, right? I always like to say with print on demand, it's a big pie, but not all niches are created equal. And of course, some of these are trends. Like we're right now looking at end of school year related niches, and there's sub niches within there. These aren't going to sell year round with this sort of volume. This is why I love that InsightFactory does do the like short-term, hey, like let's take a look at the last 7 days. And when you click in, you can actually see the last 16 days like we just saw a second ago, okay? Or maybe it was last 16 days for that other listing because it was a new listing. This one actually says how many sales in the last 344 days. So that's interesting. So sometimes it zooms out even further and gives you sort of the yearly view. But we can see some tote bags here. Again, another potential idea for offering personalization. I mean, that's a simple design to execute too. You can find graphics just like that on Creative Fabrica. I mean, that's small silhouettes. You got the coffee, you got the heart, you got the apple, and the teacher's name. You can find a script font like that too over there on Creative Fabrica. So if you guys don't know how to recreate a design like this, I'm not saying you have to, it's not stealing the design. You don't need to recreate it as is. Put your own touch on it. Add some color. Do something, right? Like we've all been to school most likely if you're watching this video. What comes to mind when you think of your experience in school? Like if it's your math teacher, or how about this sub niche, right? This is a generic teacher tote bag. Make a math teacher tote bag, put a calculator on it. There you go. You see what I'm saying? There's lots of ways to make it your own, guys. And if you don't know what keywords to target, you can come to InsightFactory, just click into any of those metrics and it launches the advanced sort of insights view right here as a pop-up. And by the way, I mean, if you do want to go down the math teacher route, watch this. All you have to do, change preschool to math teacher gift ideas. And it's going to go ahead and do what it does. It's going to go to Etsy, scrape a bunch of listings, and return the best ideas. You can also, again, coming back to where we started, jump on over here to Etsy trending search terms. How about we type in math teacher, hit search, and click beginner friendly. And here we go. We've got additional ideas, beginner friendly keywords and niches that we can target within the scope of math teacher. All right. And find these sub niches that are basically the validation has been done for us. So we don't have to just jump into, you know, competing with how many do you guys think? Math teacher gifts. And only 28,000 results. That's not actually as bad as I would have expected. So, and again, it's including a lot of generic ones like the ones we see right here, which is like a tote bag and a tumbler, a mug. But check it out right here, right next to it. A specific math teacher personalized gift. They've got the little square root symbol with the teacher name. So there's plenty of opportunity out here, guys. And it's about to be peak season for the, you know, teacher gifts or type of teacher gifts. Take advantage if you are the type of person that prefers to kind of jump from trend to trend. This is where you have home run potential. If you're just targeting like fringe evergreens, which is typically my approach, honestly, I never hit like huge home runs. It's just not something that happens anymore. When I was newer to print on demand though, and I was like a lot hungrier and I wanted that validation, those big wins, this was the approach I would take. So InsightFactory's got your back, guys. The beginner-friendly keywords really makes your life easy, and you can find that under the Etsy trends on the sidebar. Check it out. I'll link to InsightFactory in the description, guys. Thanks for watching. Please hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with a new video.